Hi, my name is Natalie Moseley, and this is my toolbox presentation. Okay, so the first inclusion strategy that I chose was child preferences. This is a tool you can use when you're adapting for a child who's on the autism spectrum. This would be incorporating something like the child's favorite toy or something that the child shows interest in. It doesn't even have to be a toy, it could be like a bug or anything. And you use it to motivate them to attempt and complete activities in the classroom. And 5 strategies for utilizing child preferences for a child with autism spectrum disorder would be say things like, if you quickly clean up after yourself in the play area, you can have your favorite truck out of your cubby. This would encourage the child to finish the task. Another one is do the activity on something that the child enjoys. This makes the child engage in the activity and gives them a chance to express themselves by socializing and talking about the subject. Example, if the child likes bugs, do an activity where everyone goes outside and looks for bugs or print pictures of different bugs and show them to the children. This gives this gives that child a chance to talk about the bugs and talk about something that they like and enjoy and express themselves with their classmates. Another one is try different activities to find out what the child has interest in and then use that interest to engage them in learning in a subject. So if you don't already know what their interest is, you could figure it out by trying different activities. Right? And the fourth one would be collaborating, with parents of the child to find out their interests. No one knows the child better than their family, and they probably have a good idea of things already because children don't always act the same in class as they do at home. And encourage all the kids in the classroom to talk about the things that they like so it'll be normal. So it won't be odd that, the little boy with autism was talking about bugs. It'll be normal because everyone talks about their favorite things in the classroom. Yeah. Inclusion strategy number 2 would be peer support. This is using other children in the classroom to model appropriate behavior. It helps the children with autism visually see what is acceptable or expected. This helps with teaching the child how to share and teaching them social skills. This will be 5 strategies for using peer support for children with autism spectrum disorder. So you could say things like, good job picking your mat up, Anna. Could you show your friend Mary how you put up your mat? To encourage Mary, the child with autism, to try and pick up her mat on her own too. Another one, assign all the children a friend or two to help them keep each other on track. Tell them they are all teams, and this will help the children learn how to interact with a child who has autism. So if the child with autism is in their group, they'll learn, especially as time goes on, how to appropriately interact with them. So for example, if there are 3 students working together on a task or they're just playing together, they can encourage each other, and they would encourage each other even more in the future when they've been on this team for so long. Another is use a child to show the child with autism a new and useful skill, such as tying their shoes or practicing drawing their shapes. Children learn a lot from each other, and I think maybe more than they would learn from us. Another one is encourage children to help the child with disability do something they might have trouble with or can't do. If the little boy with autism lost a limb, or if he can't grasp the scissors correctly, encourage the other child to help him cut his thing. It's okay to ask for help sometimes. And the 5th one would be celebrate the accomplishments of all the children, including small accomplishments like tying shoelaces. It makes all accomplishments equal, and they all get celebrated the same. So strategy number 3 would be special equipment. This is when a child has a physical disability or impairment, and it means that the child's mobility is limited either because their body parts don't work properly or they don't work at all. And this also includes children who have breathing issues and eyesight issues and seizures. So here are 5 strategies for using special equipment for these children who have physical disabilities. You would make sure all the materials in the classroom are in reach for the children with with the disabilities. The table should be shorter if needed, and walkways need to be more spacious if needed for children who use a wheelchair. Help the child to be as independent as possible by making everyday tasks accessible, like washing hands or putting their mat in their cubby. Encourage the children to always keep the floors clean and open so that their friend with a physical disability can get by without falling. As a caregiver or early educator, we should always make sure that the floor is clear so that there's no accidents. The fourth one is sit close by any children who have eyesight issues, or get them to sit by you, and use large fonts when you're showing any kind of materials in class. And have a cushioned floor mats or thick rugs on the ground for children who have tendencies to fall. Because, if you're, it's okay to fall, but you just don't want to get hurt. So, the fourth strategy would be give them a social job. When you give a child a social job, it makes them practice on being social. It gives them the sincere interactions with their classmates that aids in healthy social, emotional, cognitive, and language development. And here are 5 strategies for giving social jobs to children with autism spectrum disorder. So allow the children with autism to be the line leader and let them pick who can line up next. He can point to the child if he doesn't speak, but if he or she can speak but are shy, then just encourage them to say the child's names as time goes on. Have the child with autism pass out snack and make sure that the other students are saying thank you and whatever their name is. It's nice to be acknowledged by name and for what you're doing. Play small interactive activities such as having the children with autism roll a ball back and forth with another child. This helps them learn how to take turns, and it helps them learn social skills. And play Duck Duck Goose or any other interactive game in class. That would make them socialize. So the last one I have here is give compliments or awards to children who are attempting to socialize. So make it like a good thing that they're talking to their friends. Make it like, oh, you're talking to your friends, great job. Make them happy that they're doing it. All right, and the 5th strategy would be provide a place to be alone. So providing a child with ADHD an area to be alone gives them the opportunity to gather their thoughts and prepare for tasks and not feel so rushed or pressured to think. This also helps if they need to calm down after an episode or when they feel like they're about to have one. It's important to remember to not associate this area with punishment either. So here are 5 strategies for providing a place to be alone for a child with ADHD. So make the area a quiet area, or you can add calming music so the noise of the other children doesn't bother the child. And provide a beanbag cushions or any textured cushions to sit on. This helps children stay calm and focused while they're sitting. So supplying materials in the area, like for reading and writing, is important, but also tissues, because you don't want them to draw attention to themselves if they do need a tissue. And maybe even add stress toys in there if needed. And the 4th one would be remain patient and encourage the child to take a break when they're struggling to complete a task. So this would show them early on how to regulate their emotions by taking a break. And the 5th one would be encourage all the children to utilize this area to make it a more normal and acceptable thing to do. All right, 6th strategy, be as concrete as possible. Being concrete gives visual, verbal, tactile, and physical reminders to help the child remember what is expected of him or her. So a child might not understand the verbal cue, but could benefit from using more cues or a combination of all cues. So 5 strategies for being as concrete as possible for a child with intellectual disabilities would be point to the picture of a cubby when you're telling them to put their mats in their cubbies, as well as point to the mat. Put pictures of each child on their cubby with their names underneath so that they can look and see whose cubby is who. Go up to the child and tap on their mat and point to their cubby to let them know this is what I want you to move, and that's where it's supposed to go. So you're using verbal and physical by touching cues. And A fourth one would be use all prompts possible when encouraging a child to accomplish a task, and always vocalize the task they have done and always thank them. You put your mat away. Awesome job, Mark. Seventh strategy I chose was set a good example. Little eyes and ears are watching us and listening to our every move, but they are always learning from us too. They're not only us, but their peers too. And this is when they're learning what's acceptable behavior and what's not. It helps the children know how to act in given situations too. So they see us spill something. If we scream and holler about it, then what do you think they're going to do when they go home and spill something? You know, they're learning from us. So 5 strategies for setting a good example for students with ADHD would be: don't react negatively to situations in front of these children. And if there's a small accident, use phrases like "it's okay" and "this is an easy fix, not a big deal," to show the child what is appropriate behavior. Model using self-regulation skills, like taking a step back and breathing if you're frustrated in a situation. Don't use mean tones when asking the child to do something, even if you're frustrated. And and be mindful that some kids might see bad examples at home or wherever, so that might be why they act out and act the way that they do. When they act in a bad way, tell them why it's wrong and show them the correct way, because they really might not know. They don't know that it's even wrong because it's just what they've seen. And the 8th strategy I chose was ones for language and speech disabilities. These impairments make it difficult for a child to speak at all or clearly. This could mean like a stutter, or they could suffer from childhood apraxia of speech, which is when their jaw, their lips, and their tongue don't move in the correct ways to promote correct speech, so they're not going to be able to talk, correctly. And 5 strategies for helping children with language and speech disabilities would be: give clear and simple direct instructions. So don't add too many words for them to catch on to. Give the child time to catch up and understand what's being said. Talk to the child as much as possible. Narrate what is happening around them and what they are doing. Expand what a child says by using syntax and pronunciation when they use phrases like baby cry. You could say, yes, the baby is crying in the crib. And promote the child to engage in social interactions by saying something as, Sarah, if you're done with playing with the baby doll, then Riley would like to play with it. Would you give her the baby doll? So this would mean, okay, the teacher was encouraging me to talk or at least interact in some way, and it may just be a small step, but it's still a step. It's still something that shows progress in a child if they do it and they used to not do that. All right. And here's my reference slide. Thank you.